what if? What if things are not just like we've always been taught? Hi, I'm Kathy Ann. Let's be Berean. Today, we are going to talk about God's treasure hid in a field. Reading Matthew 13, verse 44. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a treasure hid in a field, the which when a man hath found, he hideth, and the joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath, and buyeth that field. These next two parables, Numbers 5 and 6, reveal the great love Yeshua has for his two peoples, his two elect bodies. Parable 5 today is all about the Jews, the biological nation of Israel. Let's look briefly at some verses where Israel is named God's peculiar people, treasured, chosen. Exodus 19:5. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Deuteronomy 14:2. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord has chosen thee to be a peculiar treasure unto himself. Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people, and Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. Psalms 135:4. For the Lord has chosen Jacob unto himself, and Israel for his peculiar treasure. Wherever the word treasure is used to refer to a people or nation, it is referring to Israel, the Jews. This is why the word treasure never refers to the New Testament church in any of the 21 epistles of the New Testament. In Parable 6, we will see how the New Testament church is the pearl of great price. However, today is all about the treasure hid in the field, and that is biological Israel, the Jews. Reading Matthew 13:44. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a treasure hid in a field. We have already established the coherency of these parables so that we know the word field here means the same as it did in verse 38. The field is the world. All throughout their history, this is where we find the Jews, in the world. Let me give you a few illustrations. God called Abraham out from an idolatrous people. He was hidden away among them. He was one of them. Jacob was hidden away as an exile in Paddan Aram among all the servants of Laban, who was himself a godless Gentile. Moses was called from tending sheep while hidden away in Midian. The children of Israel were brought out after being hidden away amid the rubbish of Egypt. Deuteronomy 26, verses 1 and 5. And it shall be, when thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance, and possess it, and dwellest therein, that thou shalt take of the first of all the fruit of the earth, which thou shalt bring of thy land that the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shalt put it in a basket, and shalt go unto the place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name there. And thou shalt speak and say before the Lord thy God, A Syrian ready to perish was my father. Israel began as a treasure hid in the field, a field of godless idolaters. In Isaiah 51, verses 1 and 2, God reminds Israel of their lowly origin. Hearken to me, ye that follow after righteousness, you that seek the Lord. Look unto the rock whence you are hewn, and to the hole of the pit where you are digged. Look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that beareth you. Again in Deuteronomy 32:10, for the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land and in the wasting, howling wilderness. Let's continue on in Matthew 13:44. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a treasure hid in the field, which when a man has found. The man is Yeshua. King James calls him Jesus. Just as the field in these parables is the world, the man is Yeshua. Recall both verses 24 and 37, and we will find later in parable 6, the man of verse 45 is also Yeshua. During his earthly ministry, we are told in John 1:1, he came into his own people, according to the flesh. Yeshua explained to the Canaanite woman that his ministry was confined to the Jews. In Matthew 15:24 we read, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The treasure was found. The Jews were in their own land. The temple had been rebuilt, and the Levitical priesthood was in operation. The man Yeshua came into the field, the world, and found the treasure, the nation of Israel. Let's look at the next phrase in our passage, Matthew 13:44. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a treasure hid in a field, which a man has found, he hides. Just 2 words, he hides. You will recall that in chapter 12, Yeshua presented himself to the nation, but the Jews rejected him to be king over them. So Yeshua distanced himself from them, pronouncing judgment upon them. He broke off the natural branches. Again, the Jewish nation was hid in the field. The Lord's treasure is dispersed and scattered among the nations once again. Deuteronomy 32, verses 28, 29, and 30. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. How shall one chase 1,000 and 2 put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them, and the Lord had shut them up? The latter end of the nation of Israel is that their rock sold them and has shut them up. They are hidden for now. Let's read the final phrase in Matthew 13:44. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a treasure hid in a field, the which, when a man has found, he hides, and for the joy thereof goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. The man goes and sells all that he has and buys the field. He who was rich became poor, and with his own blood on the cross, Yeshua buys back the world. I want you to notice carefully the difference between the 2 words, ransomed and redeemed. Yeshua has not redeemed the world. He ransomed it. He bought it back, refers to the dominion over all the earth that Adam lost. Adam forfeited it to Satan. Yeshua bought back the whole world, but he has not redeemed it. Redemption will come to the Jews. It will come at the end of this age when they say, Baruch haba b'Hashem Adonai. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Has redemption come to you? Are you redeemed? Redeemed, how I love to proclaim it. Redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. Redeemed through his infinite mercy. His child and forever I am. When I first went to college at Ball State University, They had the whole freshman class in one big auditorium at the start of the year. They told us to look at the person sitting on our left, then look at the person sitting on our right. They said that only 1/3 of the class would be here next semester. Then they asked, "Will you be that one? Are you one of the remnant who is redeemed?" You'd better be sure. Because what if? What if things are not just the way we've always been taught? I'm Kathy Ann. Be blessed.